Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I wanted to talk to you about more aligned with the theme of my channel, which we all know is royally teachable moments. And with that, you have to look at everything that we have seen happening in terms of the Sussexes, the Yorks, King Charles, Prince William. There's a lot going on. There is so much news out there about the royals in general. And I think when you kind of step back and you take a bird's eye view of everything that you are seeing down there, you come up with an oversight of what is happening. And today I wanted to, while looking at this article that came out, it's titled essentially, Meghan Markle has no real purpose amid her acting career. And when I saw that, it just fell in line with so much that I've been talking about in terms of the purpose of Meghan and Harry and their purposes not being aligned. But this article right here kind of set me off with what I see happening, in the horizon of a lot of things around royalty. And I'm going to give you my opinion about it because I think it can have real consequences for the royal family. Yeah, I think this is something that could have really bad ramifications for the royal family. And I'm going to talk to you about my perspective on what Meghan's American, goalless, non-talented, tenacious attitude that she has, how that can severely damage the royal family. And that's what I'm talking to you all about today. Let's get into it. It's so funny how everybody talks about Otis, and he has really become a part of my show. For some of you that are new to my channel, Otis was always just here in the room with me when I was doing my videos, and he just became a part of it because pugs are very clingy animals, and Otis loves attention, and so he follows me throughout the house everywhere that I am, and so it's just natural for him to be here with me right now. And so thank you to everybody and always giving Otis a shout out and wanting Otis to smile and all these things. I just think it's really cute, and to know my story is to know that this situation with me here and a dog right now is very, very abnormal considering my history. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I've got a lot of new subscribers, and thank you so much for being here. Thanks to everyone who has been here with me from the beginning, wherever you may have found me. Thank you so much for being here. I really do try to bring meaning to this channel amongst all the news around royalty and a lot of the controversies. I try to bring real meaning to it because I think that's a more constructive way at looking at these stories that I do speak about. And it gives me purpose. It gives me a meaningful purpose to sit here and speak to you all about the things that I speak about. And so that's what brings me to what I'm talking about today with Meghan Markle and her acting career. Now she's doing this acting thing and her not having a real purpose. I am from the background of acting, and I've studied acting, and I've lived in LA and was an auditioning actor for many years. But my purpose changed. I never wanted that to be my end all goal. And I think when you step back and want to look at your life, you want to do something that is going to bring you meaning and going to bring you happiness. And I think with Meghan, we're finding someone who wanted to do one thing, but that didn't work out. And now I think she's just aimlessly out there trying to find a way to go back to where she was pre-Harry. But out here with the connections that she has to the royal family, she is in a position now where she could do real harm to the very focus-driven royal family. Because there's still this connection with Meghan and the royal family, via Harry. So Harry is playing a very important piece in all of this. And also these children, which there's a lot of controversy around that, but I'm not going to go into the controversy around the children, but there is a link there too, which is going to bring a lot of problems eventually for Harry later as well. I've spoken about it, but let's just take a look at this, okay? So Meghan has no real purpose amid her acting career. This is what this expert is saying, and it is true, but there's another caveat to that. Okay, that I'm going to speak to you about. So Meghan, they say, is all set to make her return to the world of acting in this forthcoming appearance in this new movie titled Close Personal Friends. Now, what is interesting is that this is an Amazon MGM Studios project. Noteworthy actors, a lot of very famous, well-trained and successful actors are connected to this with Meghan. She just might do that, but here is the kicker. Why is she doing her return to acting with Amazon and not Netflix? Why is she doing that? You would think the clear alignment of any return to acting would be with Netflix, considering you've had a contract with them. You now have first refusal with Netflix, although your contract has gone down in terms of its value. You still are working with Netflix. So why Amazon? And I believe that's because Meghan is trying to connect and woo Jeff Bezos, which I have spoken about. So Meghan is trying to divert her attention now with this streaming company of Amazon rather than Netflix. To me, that is not strategic. That shows you're done with Netflix and you're now trying to go somewhere else rather than work and continue your relationship with Netflix. I believe Netflix just doesn't want Meghan anymore, or they may want her to have anything that comes around the divorce. They want first refusal. So perhaps that's why they have this new contract with Meghan and Harry. So there's a lot of things there that just don't make sense why you're going with Amazon. But then you look and think, yeah, you're going with Amazon because you're trying to get next to Jeff Bezos. You're trying to do something completely different to align yourself with a potential new man to woo, if you know what I mean. Woo woo. Okay, that's speculation. But anyway, in the meantime, the insiders further stated that Meghan will continue to do all this. They also say that they don't think that she's actually got a real purpose in a sense of her career. The insider also explained that she could have had a career, a very good career, in my view, here within the royal family. After that, Charlie Ray added, but she chose not to have that. Exactly. But what she does have is a connection, a name connection to the royal family, but no longer connected to the purpose of the royal family. So here she is, out here in the world, lollyfooting around, doing what she wants to do with a clear connection and name to the British royal monarchy. That, to me, is very dangerous for the royal family to continue that connection, because we saw what Fergie did with it, but it's not going to be like Fergie with Meghan. It's going to be very much more aligned with trying to do the most damage, because she doesn't care about the royal family. As a matter of fact, she's jealous of the people in the royal family, Catherine being the number one person. So anything she will do will be in contradiction to the purpose of the royal family, because Meghan is that kind of person. We know her type. So it's not going to be anything like what Fergie did. But that's a side story as well. But let's hear me out here. Now, this source is also saying that Meghan has been doing all sorts of things. Bit parts in films, making jam, a Christmas special is coming up. And so she goes on to then say that I think she's just going to carry on doing these bits and bobs stuff. And that's a very British thing that I learned. Bits and bobs, you know, just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bits and bobs. Nothing really specific. Yeah, okay, we get it, right? Which Meghan will be paid handsomely for whatever these bits and bobs that she'll be doing, because there's still this connection to royalty and she knows it. And so what we have here is someone who is now dibbling and dabbling in something else, acting. If Meghan were successful with her jams, with her With Love Meghan show on Netflix, if these things had yielded her success, she, I bet, would not be doing these or doing this acting comeback. It would not be on her radar to do, because she would be so high off of the success of the things that she had already started. So what has happened clearly is Meghan has blown her career opportunities in Hollywood. It is over for her. She will try any and everything to find success. And the things that she has tried so far have not yielded her the success that she had hoped for. And the more she ends up losing with everything around these bits and bobs that she's doing, the more desperate she will become. The more desperate she will come to be, to do anything to find that success. Because there's no commitment to learning from your mistakes and keep trying the same thing until you get the success. There is, for Meghan, I believe, this instant gratification of success immediately, because that's what she expects. That's the kind of person she is. She's extremely narcissistic and feels that she's entitled to this immediate success and gratification. But it hasn't been that way for her. So what we have now is someone who's trying all these legitimate things with creating products and jams and biscuits and flatbreads and like all these different things, which Fergie has done. I've done a video on this, but she's not getting anything that is giving her the gratification of success. And the only thing she has left now is to try to revert back to a connection to the royal family that will give her the success and the continued name recognition that she desires and that she is holding on to desperately. And in my last video, I talked about it. There are these forces around that are trying to see about doing harm to the British monarchy. And when you find people who are desperate, like Meghan and Harry, I think they are completely lost right now. They have no real direction as individuals, and they certainly don't have it together as a couple. I mean, Harry just went to Canada on this very fake royal tour during the Remembrance Sunday, trying to show his respect to the veterans, and clearly he needs this alignment with the royal family. And the royal family said, we had no idea that he was going to be going to Canada. But you would think Harry would have to have some connection to the royal family because of the things he did do in Canada, which the king is over Canada. So how did he do what he did without the royal family knowing about it? I find that very suspect. I find it suspect that he was able to do things without his father, the king, knowing about it. So I'm almost even questioning the alignment of the royal family with Prince Harry, because maybe they're embarrassed and don't want that alignment, because it would not look good for the king to still be aligning with Prince Harry. And then you have Meghan out here frolicking, trying any and everything. And I think she's going to even do a book at one point. I think Meghan is going to eventually leave Harry, or Harry is going to leave her. Like, that union is not going to stay together. So you've got this wild card that is Meghan out here vying for success, because she won't stop. She will keep going and going and going. This is why you see her go from doing the jams, doing the Netflix series, now trying to produce things, doing stuff around her charity work, which she has really no passion behind, because if she did, her passion would just be run your charity, help people. But that's not even good enough. And now she's returning to acting amidst all the controversy with how she treated the Kardashians and how they have this big blow up around the removal of these photos on social media. There's now reports coming out saying that Meghan wanted the photos removed because she didn't like the way she looked. Look, whatever the reason is, The fact is that you have made a lot of people mad. You have not gone to this party in good taste when you were allowed to go to this very high profile party. So Meghan has even limited herself with very influential, powerful people in Hollywood. So the only other recourse for Meghan is to align herself with the royal family independently so that she can keep trying to get to where she is trying to go, because she can't get there in a somewhat legitimate way with her skill set that she's trying to show. She's not able to do it with these things that she's already failed at. So the only other recourse for Meghan is to try to do something where she can align herself with the royal family and can make a lot of money and get a lot of notoriety and to show herself to be successful. And I think that will only be writing a book, talking more about the royals, aligning with maybe these dark forces that are looking to bring down the monarchy. Like, you have this wild child out there desperately being backed up into a corner with no way to legitimately get out of the corner with her success. So what is she supposed to do now? What are her options? Meghan's career in Hollywood is dead. And unless she can have a comeback story several years from now, show working hard, honing your craft, doing something to really learn it in the right way, to get respect, unless she goes that route, these other ways of bits and bobbing things is not going to yield her the success she is going to keep trying to get. And I just put it out there that Meghan is a danger to those who are still aligned with her, and she will stop at nothing. She will stop at nothing because she is a caged tiger who is trying to get to the meat, and no one's giving it to her. What will she do? What will she do? I see that on the horizon as I look down at this 30,000 feet above of all the things that are happening with the controversies with Andrew now, and Fergie off going to exile, and the king still trying to maybe align with Harry, Prince William looking to take away the titles, Meghan trying to find success still connected to royalty. Like, it is a disaster waiting to happen. This is what I am seeing. I put it out there because that's what I'm feeling, and we will wait and see what happens. I think I've been pretty much right with a lot of things I've talked about on this channel, and this is something to be concerned with. Absolutely. All right, everyone. Otis says I'm done, so I guess I'm done. I will see you all in my next video. Cheerio.